Hi, my name is Brian Atkins, and occasionally I get super into a subject at random, sometimes to the point of obsession. Today, I'm obsessed with Transformers. Transformers started in 1984 when some Hasbro executives realized that they could take some toy lines from Japan and market them in America with a new cartoon to advertise them. See, up until then, the US government was very strict about children's entertainment not being used to advertise for things like toys or breakfast cereal. But then Ronald Reagan was like, nah, it's cool. The plot of the series is actually very simple. Millions of years ago, two warring factions of robots nearly destroyed their home planet, and then they had an epic space battle before landing in prehistoric Oregon. They woke up in 1984 and used their alien robot technology to scan the environment for disguises, hence the tagline, "More than meets the eye." Some of these alternate modes were pretty cool. Giant tanks, aeroplanes, etc. Some of them were dumb though, like gun or tape cassette player or 1/3 of a camera. Can you imagine being a Transformer finding out that you scanned 1/3 of a camera as your alt mode? Amazing. Okay, so the two warring factions are called the Autobots and the Decepticons. The Autobots are led by Optimus Prime, this red truck guy, and the Decepticons are led by Megatron, who turns into a gun and needs someone else to pull the trigger. Or maybe it's like a sex thing, considering where the trigger ended up in his robot mode. Each side has their own soldiers to fight with, and you can buy them all at your local Toys R Us. And that's already the first problem. See, in toy lines, children tend to gravitate towards the heroic characters, so toy manufacturers try to fill the supply and demand by having more heroic characters for the kids to buy. This has the unfortunate effect, in show, of having a disproportionately higher number of named Autobots on screen compared to the Decepticons. This is further exacerbated by having a lot of the villain characters just be the same body but with different paint jobs. Repaints, if you will. With the airplane toys, the camera triplets, some bugs, and a tape deck, your bad guy team is pretty much done for Season 1. Meanwhile, the Autobots got to have a much more diverse crew. Sure, most of them are cars and trucks, but they also have some spotlight episodes, more character arcs. Optimus isn't just a stoic leader, he also likes to play basketball. Bumblebee isn't just another soldier, he's also small and hangs out with humans. We get an episode where Wheeljack, the science guy, decides it would be cool to just make dinosaur Transformers, and it turns out he was right. The Dinobots are almost their own team, but still work alongside the Autobots when it's convenient for the plot. Speaking of plot, Megatron is like, hey, what if I just threw our old planet at the Earth and that would... Something about gravity? I don't know, the show was dumb, so then they made a movie and it was bananas. So this big planet thing named Unicron has these big pincer things and it can eat smaller planets, and it's based on Galactus from Marvel Comics and voiced by Orson Welles. This movie takes place in the far-off future year of 2005. So everyone wears tracksuits and Megatron ends up leading a group of bad guys to just straight up kill the good guys. Just no ambiguity. He shoots them, they die, he ends up shooting Optimus Prime after the new hotshot kid gets in the way. Optimus Prime dies, it's pretty sad. He gives the Matrix thing, which he apparently had in his chest the whole time, to this other new guy, Ultra Magnus, who in the toys was like an upgraded armor kit for the Optimus Prime toy. So if you're super into toys, you would be like, oh cool, it's like the old leader, except he's even stronger. Except if you're in the age demographic to think that way, you're probably still sad, like... that Optimus Prime died. So the Decepticons are flying to their home planet, which I guess they put back where it belongs? I skipped over a bunch of episodes, so bear with me here. Megatron is dying though, so the other bad guys throw him out of their spaceship, and Unicron sees them and turns them into other bad guys. Megatron is now called Galvatron, and he works for Unicron. The Autobots kind of do their own thing, and Weird Al shows up. So here's the twist. That hotshot guy, well, his name is Hot Rod, and it turns out he's destined to be the new Autobots leader. He ends up getting that Matrix thing from Galvatron, who took it from Ultra Magnus, I guess, and he opens it. By opening Optimus Prime's Matrix thing, this kills the Unicron and turns Hot Rod into Rodimus Prime, who looks older and turns into an RV for some reason. It's pretty cool. There's another season that happens after that, and it basically boils down to Galvatron is insane and Optimus Prime comes back to life and takes leadership again because kids keep crying and sending Hasbro letters about it. This starts a new tradition where Optimus Prime dies in every version of Transformers but then comes back, so that's pretty cool too. So even further in the future, and the Transformers are all smaller now for some reason. See, the toy line for the 80s cartoon lost all of the sales once the show ended, and now Hasbro is scrambling for ideas. is, kids in the 90s just weren't as into tape cassettes as they used to be. And also, there's a new law that says you can't make more realistic weapon toys, so Megatron can't be a gun anymore. Something about kids waving guns around was bad. Okay, so what are we going to do? Aminals. The Transformers are going to turn into Aminals now. It seems crazy, but if you remember those Dinobots, kids loved robots that turned into dinosaurs already. So they thought it would be cool just to have a whole bunch of those. This time, it's Beast Wars. Instead of Autobots and Decepticons, it's like their grandchildren, the Maximals and the Predacons. This takes place more in the future than the Transformers show, and these are all of their robot furry grandchildren. This makes perfect sense. So it's kind of the same plot as the other show. Two spaceships crash land on Earth and scan local areas to make disguises. This time though, instead of scanning cars and planes, the robots end up scanning animals, which is good because there's this radioactive energon shit just everywhere and the animal modes protect them from the radiation. So good guy team, Maximals, led by Optimus Primal, and bad guy team, Predacons, led by Megatron. He's a different Megatron than the other one though. Here's a twist, one of the bad guys is named Dinobot because Hasbro wanted to keep some of their trademarks, I guess, and he decides he wants to switch teams, but also wants to be the leader of the other team because he hates Megatron so much. This doesn't go over great though. Look, he ends up joining the good guys. Bigger twist, and this is around the end of Season 2, is we find out that the planet they're on is Earth, but also it's prehistoric Earth. Remember how the Autobots and Decepticons landed on Earth millions of years ago, but then woke up in 1984? Yeah, it turns out the Beast Wars guys went through a time hole and ended up like just a few miles away from the older Transformer guys. Shh, they're sleeping though. Megatron doesn't care though, and he walks into the Autobot ship and shoots a laser at Optimus Prime's face, killing him before he could wake up in 1984 and do all the 80s Transformers show like playing basketball. So the neat thing about this time paradox he's created here, something they bring up in the PlayStation game, is that by doing this, Megatron has killed all the Transformers as well as everyone else in the universe. With Optimus Prime dead before the start of the Transformers show, he would have never been able to pass the Matrix to the other characters who used it to kill the Unicron. This means that the Unicron would have continued his mission and killed all the Transformers, and then eat their home planet, as well as Earth maybe. Had this happened, none of the Beast Wars stuff would have happened, because it would be like going back in time and killing your grandfather before he had kids. They called this the grandfather paradox. So anyway, Optimus Primal takes the Matrix and turns into Double Optimus and saves the day. He ends up getting all of Optimus Prime's powers, like being able to play basketball. It's pretty cool. Eventually Megatron turns into a dragon and they keep using their grandpa's old war toys to fight each other before the show ends. There was another series after this in the same continuity, but it's really dumb. So the Beast Wars guys decide they're done being on Caveman Earth and fly an Autobot spaceship into space through another time hole thing and back towards their home planet. Somehow Dragon Megatron falls off the spaceship. They tied him on the roof for some reason, and he becomes Space Dragon Robot Hitler. Space Dragon Robot Hitler creates a virus that kills all the Transformers and then gets a really long wig made out of wires and plugs himself into the planet. This allows him to control everything and see everything, and also allows him to control some remote control robot drones. Turns out the computer virus didn't work on furries though, so all the Beast Wars good guys survive, but can't transform for some reason. Optimus Primal finds out that the original Transformers had to learn how to transform, which I'm pretty sure is bullshit, but okay. He finds a magic psychic oracle thing that gives him all the new bodies that you can buy right now at your Toys R Us. So Beast Machines was the first Transformers series for the 2000s, and it kind of shows Hasbro was trying to go in a more spiritual area, using the transformation as a sort of metaphor for enlightenment. The heroic Maximals, who all changed their logo for some reason, had weaker bodies and never used guns, while the evil Vehicons, led by Space Dragon Robot Hitler, were these oppressive forces, utilitarian in design and driven by only violence. The series ended with Optimus Primal and Megatron being sucked into the core of Cybertron, and this unlocks its organic nature, terraforming the planet into a half-robot, half-regular planet. Remember when 80s Gun Megatron transported the planet to Earth? That was weird. Also, the toys are kind of cool, but the series took a really weird turn halfway through. My name is Brian Atkins, and I'm obsessed with Transformers. Robot, car, furry, space dragon, Hitler time paradox. guys, please like and subscribe.